So I wanted to go over why free cash flow is so important, especially when you compare it to net income. So if we're looking at this business right here, we're looking at Trulieve Cannabis Corp. And I was really into this business actually at first, until it turns out it's a shit business actually. Not a shit business, but if we look at it, I mean, it's got a very good story. It's vertically integrated. It's one of 15 cannabis companies that is legally allowed to operate in Florida, which is actually incredible. All these regulations against the cannabis industry is actually helping this business have a moat. A moat is as in something, it's like this, it's a way for a business to have some sort of like things that are like, that give it a competitive advantage. That's what a moat is. Sort of like Nike's. Like Nike has that pedigree. People will buy Nike's clothes. People will pay more money just for the fact that it's Nike. And people will buy Apple products just because it's Apple. They're willing to pay more. Another mode is like, for example, like the marijuana industry it's so difficult for a company to join it. And they need a shit ton of capital. And in Florida, you have to be vertically integrated, which means you have to own the dispensaries and you have to own where the actual weed is produced, the farms, which is really interesting. And there's only 15 companies allowed, and this owns, I believe, like 45% of all Florida's market share. So if we look at this, if we look at the revenue keeps on increasing. It's looking pretty good. Net income has been increasing, and this is what made me really interested in this company specifically, because most marijuana companies at the moment are unprofitable, but this one has had 3 years of profitability already. And yeah, and I was looking through this, and then I was looking through, okay, let's look at cash flow, free cash flow. And this is cash from operations, which is how much money they get from their main operations, and capital expenditures, which can be like how much it costs to keep the factories running, how much it costs to keep the marijuana plants, the dispensaries open, the stores open, how much rent they have to pay to the landlord, stuff like that. Also investment they go back into the business. And then they can also make money from selling, but we ignore those. We focus on free cash flow, which is cash from operations minus capital expenditures. And if you look at this, they're actually, well, the first 2 years they were losing money from even their operations, but they are getting money from their operations, but overall, they're losing money to keep the plants open by a lot, by -50, -20 right here. And then this one they're beginning to do well, actually. -0.1. But one of the things, so one of the questions is like, how do they have a positive net income? And if you scroll down to their statement, we can look at how much debt has been issued recently. $122.2 million of long-term debt. 56.7 million recently, trailing 12 months. Then we look at issuance of common stock. And this is what happens when a company is doing really well in the stock market. Oftentimes they do what this is called shareholder dilution, and they take a stock and they sell it. They dilute it by, they sell, the company adds more shares, overall shares. It's kind of like printing money, like how the U.S. government prints money. It's exactly the same thing. What happens is the government starts adding more and more shares into the company, and then guess what? Overall, it's bad for us as investors because now we own less of the pie of the company. The company is this one giant pie, and we own, like, let's say there's only 100 stocks, then you own 1/100th of the company. If you add 50 more, now you only own 1/150th of that company. But yeah, that's where most of their revenue is coming from. And this, in total, is why we have why their net income is positive. It's not because they're actually producing a diverse array of marijuana products and profiting from that. No, at the moment, their business it's profitable just because they're selling stocks, not because of the actual business itself. And I think that's just an important lesson for all you guys to know if any of you guys are starting fundamental analysis. Yeah, this is the end of the video. See you guys next time.